Alright guys, let's talk about another new horror movie that was released on Shudder this time. I just reviewed Thriller, which is the newest Netflix Blumhouse movie dumped onto Netflix. And now I'm going to talk about The Ranger, which is a Shudder exclusive. And this one, I'm not trying to spoil my review for Thriller, but I couldn't stand Thriller. And The Ranger, I think, is a little better, but there are so many things I hate about this movie. It was almost 2 for 2, in which I saw 2 really bad horror movies back to back. Now, The Ranger is about this ranger who starts killing off these kids then one of them is related to the ranger in a story that will be elaborated later in the movie, but this ranger is just like the serial killer. And starting out, the thing I have to point out the most, and before I saw this movie, everybody said this, and I really should have believed them. And then I watched this, and I hated these main characters. Besides the main girl who is related to the ranger, every other character is fucking atrocious. They are some of the most unlikable characters I have ever seen. They are so incredibly unlikable. And they are the biggest douchebags I've ever seen in almost any horror movie. And I haven't seen every horror movie in the world, but good fucking lord, like these characters I wanted to strangle because I wanted them to die. And I get in horror movies, people you want to have body count. You do in slashers. I know you do. I know that's how it works. But whenever you make these characters so unlikable to this extent, it just makes me want to not watch the movie, as opposed to wanting to get them killed off. Like, they are just so fucking obnoxious and douchebags, and they are heartless. Besides the main character, Chelsea, everybody else is just unlikable. There is this character who is just a douchebag because he was just partying with all the other friends and they were doing drugs, I think, or something. And then a cop comes up to him, and the freaking side character like shanks the cop, and he dies or is dying. And then like there's a scene where they go to the old cabin where Chelsea, the main character, used to live. And then that guy starts smoking in the house, and she's like, "Don't smoke in here. This isn't a place to smoke." And the douchebag boyfriend of hers, the character who shanks the cop, he literally looks at the other guy who's starting to smoke, and he says, "Come on, just smoke it." And like he just looks at the girlfriend like, "Yeah, you're my property, like bitch." Like he didn't say that, but he looked at her like a douchebag entitled like, man is better than woman type of thing. And I hate that shit. I hate when people think that they're better like that. That just pisses me off. And that character, especially the boyfriend character that this character has no reason to be with, is just so fucking horrible. And I hated him. And I hated all these other characters too. They were just annoying and obnoxious and stupid. They are legitimately some of the most unlikable characters in any horror movie I've ever seen. The gore in this, though, I will give the gore a positive. I did like the gore. I thought the gore was actually fine. Like, it wasn't, like, amazing, but it was fine. It was serviceable. With its budget that it had, which didn't seem like it didn't feel like this had a big budget, it works with the gore. Like, I thought it was pretty fine. And there's the ranger character who's the killer, and his acting is fine, like he's intimidating, but they give him all these shitty jokes where like he just says stuff like the last couple characters alive downstairs in the basement and all these dead bodies around him, and the ranger walks down with a gun and is like, he has a line where he says, "Sorry kids, like if I would have realized you were here, I would have tidied up." It seems like it's trying to be a self-aware, silly, like, line, but it's stupid. And then earlier, whenever he's killing some of the kids, he says, "Sorry, kids, I have to keep the forest clean." Like, it's weird because it's played so straight because this guy is, like, intimidating, but then, like, he says these stupid-ass jokes which aren't funny, and they don't work in this context. Like, this reminded me a lot of, like, Sleepaway Camp 2, in which Angela in that movie like kills all these people and says all these funny lines, and her personality works. In this character is played so straight and so In a way, he's intimidating. Like it's not funny. And in Sleepaway Camp 2, Angela is a character who is, yeah, a crazy killer, but she has got a very bubbly personality. So it's funny with her ways of joking in that movie. That's the only one that I could think of immediately when it came to the jokes like this. Like I've thought of Sleepaway Camp 2 immediately, because I love Sleepaway Camp 2. And now the ending, I do want to give a positive to this. The ending I thought was good. I thought it was actually really brutal and really, in a way, I liked the ending. I thought it actually worked. I thought it was pretty effective. And but it doesn't save the whole movie because again, my negatives is that those side characters are some of the worst I've ever seen. I really couldn't stand like the dumb lines that they give the ranger guy when he's so intimidating already. So those are my big negatives, but my positives, I did like the main girl, I did like the ending, I did like the gore. So this is a mixed bag, even though I hated the main character or the side characters. I hated them so much. I hated them so much that I just wanted to fucking like strangle them, like seriously, like they were so horrible. But this does have merit to it. Like it did have enjoyable things about it. Like again, the gore, the main character, and the ending I thought were all solid. Like I thought that was fine. This is just a really incredibly mixed bag because there's things I like and things that I hate about it. But it's not one that I look at it and go, "Oh, I hate everything because I hate parts of it." And I do hate parts of it, but there are positives that I thought did work in this movie. So the Ranger was fun for the most part when I don't look at the negative aspects of it for me. So that's my thoughts on the Ranger. It is exclusive on Shudder right now. And if you saw the Ranger, tell me down below what you think of this movie. And if you like this review, check down below on my other content like Patreon, Twitter, Letterboxd. And thank you guys again so much for watching.